then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. We are back again for another episode of Arsenal News. Now, just a minute. Right? That is right. Okay. We are back again this evening with another episode of Arsenal News. Now, we're going to be speaking a couple of things in this episode. Jack Wilshere is back training with Arsenal. That story has been written by Sky Sport, and it's one that I think we will discuss in detail. Call in as well. The link is in the commentary section. Call in and tell me, what do you think about Jack Wilshere really coming back to train with Arsenal? Now, we are gonna be discussing that at full length. Whether Arsenal should be thinking about giving him a new contract and also putting him as part of our 25-man squad for the Premier League. What do you think? We have a midfield. It's not a crisis really, but we have a midfield shortage. I think if you brought in a player like Jack Wilshere, the talents he has and the abilities he has as a player, he could work. I don't know. I don't know what you people think, but I think, he could work for us. I just feel like, I love him. I love Jack Wilshere. So this evening, we will be discussing much about Jack Wilshere. We'll be talking about a little bit about Yves Bissouma. He's not an Arsenal player, though, but he's been arrested and of course, he was bailed out, but he was arrested charges of sexual assault. We will try to dive into that as well. Now you have players like you have stories. We also have stories of Tomiyasu, who's been nominated as our player of the month in September. It's a big story. It's a big story. Player of the month, Tomiyasu. Do you think he was our player of the month? Because that is something that is a little bit debatable. In that month, we've really performed well. I think Partey has been performing well. I think Aaron Ramsdale has really performed well in that month, in September. But Tomiyasu has been chosen as Arsenal's player of the month, right? I think, and then you have the likes of Nicolas Shure, the interest there from Arsenal. We will really discuss that, and of course, the likes of Charlie Patino being named as our best youngster in the month of September. So welcome to welcome aboard. It is the evening Arsenal show. It is coming a little bit earlier today. It is 7 p.m. Should be coming at 9 p.m. But obviously, we roll with what is happening. Of course, I'll have another show at around 9 p.m. We'll be talking about more Arsenal stuff. Probably we shall have some guests on and a couple of other things. Of course, make sure you do smash a like on the video. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel as well. That absolutely means a lot to the career and the journey and the life of this YouTube podcast. Right. Let's get the party started. Jack Wilshere, it is now confirmed that Arsenal Jack Wilshere will be training with Arsenal Football Club. That is confirmed, done and dusted. And actually, the story has been written. A couple of websites have actually written the story, but we will look at this one from Sky Sport, and they are saying Jack Wilshere training with Arsenal as club shows support for the former midfielder's future. And they're saying former Arsenal midfielder Jack Wilshere has been a free agent since his deal at Bournemouth expired last season. The 29-year-old played 197 games for Arsenal over 10 years. Wilshere has publicly spoken about struggles with his own mental health and highlighted the importance of talking. Right. Jack Wilshere is training with Arsenal as his former club shows support or supports him with his future in the game. The 29-year-old has been a free agent ever since leaving Bournemouth last summer. He spent a short time last month training with Serie B outfit Como, having spoken about his lack of offers and the impact it is having on his mental health. He also says that Arsenal manager, Mikel Arteta, was then asked if Wilshere would be welcome back to the club to train, replying, "The door is always open." And he said now Wilshere, who played 197 games for Arsenal over 10 years, is training predominantly with the under 23s at the club's London Colony Training Centre. They're saying the PN News agency understands he will occasionally join in with the first team and use the opportunity to study coaching approaches in an agreement that will run until the end of January. What you should believe is that we want to help Jack to prepare for his next stage physically and mentally. Ateta told the club's official website. He wants to do his coaching badges again, and we are prepared to fulfill the needs that he wants. That is basically the idea, and it is no further than that. I'm very happy to have him back. That was Mikel Arteta. Of course, he said we have had a conversation with Jack Wilshere. And understand the needs that he has, the period that he's going through, and I think everyone at the club agreed it was the right moment to help him. We sat down with him and we listened to what he had, to what he wanted, to what he wanted to do. And what stage he is and where, and we are prepared to do anything that we can to do. We can to help him. He's going to be training sometimes with us. He's going to be around. He's going to be around the place. He's going to be continuing his coaching badges. That is that he is very interested in. We will try to fight to fit in to fit. We will try to get him fit. Try to get his experiences across to our players, our young players, our academy, and I think it's a great influence to have Jack around. So big. I mean, it's a big question there. It's a very very big question there, people. The lads, Jack Wilshere returning to Arsenal. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. One, I've said this before on this podcast. It's not even a month. Ever since I said this, he's one of the generational talents that have gone wasted. Absolutely wasted. Right? He's a generational talent that I think that I think deserves more, that I think could have done better with his career, and it just went wasted. It was just blown under the carpet, and there is no way you're gonna blame anyone. It was the injuries. He was always injury prone. We know how much he meant to Arsene Wenger when he was fit. We know how much game time Arsene Wenger was willing to give to this lad whenever he was fit. But the problem always came in with injuries, and look, there's so many people who want to turn this into an issue of discipline on Jack Wilshere. Well, I don't buy into that. I'm sorry, I don't buy into it. I don't think Jack has been. I don't think Jack was a Jack. I mean, I hope it makes sense, right? I hope it absolutely makes sense. But I don't think Jack was a Jack. I think it was more of the injuries. It was more of the unlucky part of it, right? It was more of like the unfortunate part of it that led Jack Wilshere to the situation in which he is now. He's 29 years, 29 years of age. He last had a professional contract. I think that was last summer. I think, but one, and that was with Bournemouth. So the big question is, should we give Jack Wilshere a chance? Maybe play as you earn, pay as you play, things like that. Such contracts, should we? Because at the end of the day, if I'm looking at, I look at that in two ways. One, I think Arsenal do have a deficit. We might not agree to it. We might not. It is absolutely usual of Arsenal never to agree that they do have a deficit. But I think we have a deficit. I think there is a point for us to fill, and for me, that point to fill, that kind of deficit can be filled in if a player like Jack Wilshere comes in, right? Xhaka is out injured. Sorry. Right? Xhaka is out injured for 3 months. Mohamed Elneny not good enough. Absolutely not good enough. We know that. And then here comes Jack Wilshere. Can we give him an opportunity? Probably, because for me, again, it's a question of do we or do we not, right? It's a question of do we not. If you go out there and give him a contract, if you're Edu, it's a risk. It's a very, very big risk because there's one player that cannot be fit for 360 days, right? So that means he cannot guarantee you his availability. Absolutely. He can't guarantee you his availability. But at the same time, he last recorded an injury in he's been fit, I think, since January 2019. He's been fit, and if you look in that period of time, he's actually not played so many games. He's actually not played a ridiculous amount of games, and of course you do understand that. But again, I'm gonna add this but. If we get Jack Wilshere, put him into the Arsenal side, he might not be a starter, but there is something we are adding to the Arsenal side. One, I think we are so blunt going forward, absolutely blunt. At the moment, if I had Jack Wilshere with Thomas Partey, it creates a very, very different kind of dimension, very, very different kind of Arsenal in the midfield, and that's what you want to see. You want to see an Arsenal that fights for the ball. I think Jack really fights for the ball, and there's a thing Partey fights for the ball. You want to see an Arsenal that is really progressive. I think Jack is progressive. I think Thomas Partey could be progressive if you give him the right materials at the end of the day. Now, there is a big debate, like I said, on the level of risk that we would be taking, especially because he's very injury prone and things like that. But what do you think? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Do we take back Jack? Do we take back Jack? Yes, I love him, and many people are gonna tell you wanting Jack Wilshere to come back at Arsenal. It's a little bit being nostalgic, right? Because you just want to reflect on those past times, those past good times. It's more like regressing, I think. Going back to those easy, beautiful times, and under period of stress. But if look, I don't care if I'm nostalgic. I would give Jack a chance. I don't know. I mean, maybe half a year contract, as long as it is something, right? As long as it is something he can hold on to. Because he's 29. He's just 29. Look, he's 29. At least give him a season. Give him a season. Give him a season. Try to give him a season and see. Right? He's 29. Give him a year. If he does well, give him another. I mean, we have signed, if we brought in the likes of, Sylvester from Manchester United, Danny Welbeck, Kim Kalostrom, if we brought in the likes of Kim Kalostrom, of course, it will make sense. It makes sense that we brought in the likes of Sylvester because they were still playing, football then, so they were still footballers. But for me, the likes of, signing the likes of, Stefan Lichtsteiner, the likes of Kim Kalostrom, the likes of Sylvester, there's no reason. That's why I don't give Jack Wilshere a chance. There's no reason. And I'm the same man who said, don't bring back Aaron Ramsey. But you know my reasons. That's why I don't want to bring back Aaron Ramsey. My reasons are very, very clear. But with Jack Wilshere, yes, he's gone out the same way, actually, as Aaron Ramsey left. He left the club and refused to pen down a new contract because he was given a new contract under Unai Emery, and he refused. They said, you know what? I want to go play football, things like that. He actually did consider, but he was with Arsenal ever since when? 5 years? 8 years? I'll give him a chance. I'll give him a chance because there is that small pocket where you think Jack Wilshere could come in. Let me give you an example, people. Look at the Brighton game, right? Look at the Brighton game. We played Brighton and Hove Albion, and there was nothing. We had nothing, right? Partey was shit. Lukonga was shit. Odegaard was shit. I think Smith Rowe is the only person that tried to make a difference. But look at Smith Rowe and look at Jack Wilshere. What is the difference? Yeah, I mean, Smith Rowe plays a little bit more advanced like Jack Wilshere. I think Jack Wilshere is dribbling. no offense to Jack, no offense to Smith, but Jack Wilshere's dribbling for me is way better. Even when he was at that age, Wilshere's dribbling is one of the reasons why he sustained many more and more injuries in his career, because his dribbling was good. He never lets the ball go. If you want to take away the ball from his feet, you've got to injure him. And that's what that is what happened most of the time. Many players getting on his ankles, many players getting on his heels, until he suffered these nasty, nasty, disgusting injuries that he never wanted to, to suffer as a player. But at the end of the day, Jack is now focusing on. Look, I will take him back. I would take him back for at least 1 year or half a year. But at the end of the day, now he wants to focus. He just wants to focus on his coaching badges. I think he's given up on football. What a shame! What a shame! Mario Götze, Jack Wilshere, Owen Hargreaves. What a shame! Because for me, these are talents, and again, these are players that. For Mario Götze, I don't know. Was it injuries? The moment he went to Bayern Munich, his world just seemed to crumble. I don't know what happened there. I don't know. The likes of Son Belong, of course, I think Son Belong just made a wrong decision to go to Barcelona. It was the right decision then, financially. Barcelona, you couldn't turn down Barcelona. But look at the likes of Chess Fabregas. When they come back to Chelsea, they play good football. What happened to Song? But look, it's such a shame that players like Wilshere, have been treated like this, not by our club, not by our fans, and not by the game, but by, I don't know. It's life. It's life that has done this, right? If anyone is to be blamed, it should be life. And I don't know how you blame life. Maybe if you're gonna get God is you can't get, you really can't get God by the necktie. But unless you're gonna get God by the necktie, right? Unless you're gonna get God by the necktie, I don't see how Jack Wilshere will ever say anything wrong about Arsenal, and I don't see how Arsenal will ever say anything negative about Jack Wilshere. It's that kind of relationship between son and father and son, right? Father and son, but. His back is now trained, looking at forging out a career as the manager, as a coach. I hope it goes down well. He's gonna be training with the under 23s as he tries to get his badges through, and from there probably we could have one of the youngest coaches ever. And for me, this is an advantage for a club like Arsenal, not because Jack Wilshere's career has gone to a waste, but the likes of Jack, the likes of Thierry Henry, the likes of course Thierry has, at the moment is doing punditry. I think with Amazon, is it Amazon? I've seen him doing punditry with Prime Video in and about the French League One. But the likes of Patrick Vieira, they're engaging more in managing Arteta is an OB. If Arteta fails, you could bring in Patrick Vieira, another OB. If he works out well, you could bring him in. The likes of Jack Wilshere, probably they could come in at a later stage, probably 5 years from now, or 6 years, or 10 years from now. It just allows us to get managers that understand the philosophy of the team and what exactly the team is all about. So Jack Wilshere, all the best, my lad. Is back at Arsenal training, not with a contract though. He doesn't have a contract, and he does. So he's not going to be training with the first team at the moment. He's not going to be training with the first team at the moment. He's going to be training predominantly with the under 23s. And after that, we will see much of Jack Wilshere probably later in the game. Probably later in the season, training with our best, our best 11. Right? I'm just looking at Rory Jennings and the Newcastle takeover. There is nothing I have to say about the Newcastle takeover. I'm telling you, seriously, nothing. There is nothing I'm going to say about the Newcastle takeover. So if anyone wants, if anyone wants me to talk about the Newcastle takeover, there is nothing I want to say about the Newcastle takeover. I'm telling you for facts. Jack is training to keep fit. He's not needed at Arsenal now. Hey, Cossy, how are you doing, Jeff? Uh, I want to know if he's coming to play for us. Not really. Not really. I've made that very, very clear. I think he will help us in the dressing room and also may help us to build our young stars. Yeah, I mean, no offense, no offense. I think Jack's social habits attributed to the extension of his injury. At 29, he's at a crossroad of his career, hoping for a speedy return to fitness, and Arsenal is the right place for his return. Thank you so much, Babs. Life cheated poor Jack. That's according to Noble. Thank you so much, Noble, for the comment. Look, I'm telling you, I mean, life can be cruel sometimes. Life can be absolutely cruel. It can be absolutely unfair. I'm telling you, it can be cruel as it gets. It can be unfair as it gets. It can be. But in the end, we have nothing to do. Welcome back to Arsenal, Jack. Feel at home. We love you, and you know how much fans like me love you. I will get one of my shirts. All my shirts do not have, all my shirts are not branded. So I think I'll just get one and shirt number 10, Jack Wilshere. I mean, it hurts me to see him in that situation. But of course, we cannot keep up with the negativity. Right. I would love to speak about Tomiyasu, right? I want to speak about Tomiyasu, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Right. So let's get to Tomiyasu. Let's get to Takehiro Tomiyasu. And I think this is a segment where we will and we should discuss the rest of the Arsenal, the rest of Arsenal September. What a month that has been, people. What a month. Because look, I mean, there's so many people who could come out and say blah blah blah, but it's been a good month. It has absolutely been a very very good month. So let's get into that. Takehiro Tomiyasu, Arsenal's new right back, has been voted as Arsenal's Player of the Month for September. What do you think about that? Right? What do you think about that? What do you think about that? It's crazy, isn't it? Right? It's absolutely crazy. Takehiro Tomiyasu voted as Arsenal's Player of the Month for September. Look, there are two or three things in this one, and we've got to accept. We've got to accept reality, right? We've got to accept reality. There are two or three things in this. Is he our best signing of the summer? Do you think he is our best signing of the summer? That is number one. And do you think? Don't you think this is over exaggerated? That is number two. And we will discuss both points, right? Is he Arsenal's best signing of the summer? Is his success over exaggerated? That's the question. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Takehiro Tomiyasu has been absolutely a super signing? Do you think? Because we can never have the same opinion, and that's why you have such channels to air out what we think on a daily basis. Let him come for 1 year contract only. That is Jack Wilshere, right? So speaking about Arsenal and our players, right? All right, let's get into this. Takehiro Tomiyasu voted as Arsenal's Player of the Month in September. Quite interesting, isn't it? Because I think we had a couple of good performances in that month. In that month. I think Saka was not bad. He was absolutely key and central in all the goals we scored in that month. If you look at the goal we scored, the free kick we scored against Burnley, it was Saka who was brought down. Spurs, demolishing Spurs. Again, Saka with a goal and an assist out of the three. Brighton, again, he was the only spark there. Norwich City, Norwich City. Did he have a hand in that goal against Norwich? Can't really remember very well, but what I remember, it was Pepe, and then Aubameyang. Was it Partey who had released him? Was it Odegaard? I'm not really quite sure. But I think Saka also had a very, very good month. In had a very, very good month in September. And then another player of the month that I should think about is Aaron Ramsdale. Because what you look at, Ramsdale is in a way very, very similar with is in a way very, very similar with Takehiro Tomiyasu, because both of them have provided this kind of huge uplift, this kind of huge upgrade, right? They have provided this, these kinds of, these kinds of upgrades, to positions where they've been playing. So, let's start off with Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu replaces Hector Bellerin, who I think last season was absolutely dreadful, right? He was absolutely dreadful. He was disgusting. And this season, we started off the season with Chambers and it was Chambers and Cedric who played in that area, respectively, and they were absolutely awful. Chambers, poor. Cedric against Manchester City, he was bullied, absolutely bullied. So when Tomiyasu comes in, he comes in to provide an alternative. He comes in as a player who has to provide an alternative, and I think he does it very well. I think he comes in and provides what was needed there, because there are not so many crosses. If you've seen it, there are not so many crosses that are coming out of Arsenal's right wing. There are not so many, there are not so many crosses. But how many people talk about it? The fact that we have got that defensive solidity from Takehiro Tomiyasu is just enough for Arsenal fans to take some water and breathe, right? So for me, I think Tomiyasu, that's the reason as why he's been voted new to the league. I mean, Lokonga is also new to the league, but new to the league, he's coming in a position where many Arsenal fans felt they are watching the worst. And now, because for me, I don't believe he's been that, I don't think his performances will sweep you off your feet. I don't think they're mind-blowing. No. I don't think they're mouth-watering. No, his performances are not that. And that's why I'm saying they are exaggerated. They are exaggerated. He's not Trent. He's not Robertson. He's not, but he's good defensive ways, and that's one security that he really provides. Again, it's the same thing with Aaron Ramsdale. He's not miles and miles ahead of Leno. With Tomiyasu, maybe you could, you could argue, yeah. With Tomiyasu, maybe you could argue that he's miles and miles ahead of Cedric, miles and miles ahead of Chambers, but with Ramsdale, he's not miles and miles ahead of Leno. But again, you can see there is something that he's providing with his team. There is something that we get from him being around. There is something that we get from him being there, and I'm absolutely happy. I'm absolutely happy. So Takehiro Tomiyasu, Arsenal's Player of the Month in September. It could be anyone. Love. It could be anyone. It could be Odegaard. It could be Partey. It could be Saka. It could be, and I wouldn't care, because that month was a good one, an absolutely very, very, very good month. Beating Norwich, beating Burnley, beating Spurs, a draw against Brighton, a struggling Arsenal versus a rampant Brighton. Yeah, in my match reaction, I said we should have done better, and I still stand by my words. We should have done better, but you never know, right? You never know what's you never know what's gonna happen. Football is football. So I think Tomiyasu also getting that award, getting that accolade, absolutely very, very brilliant, right? Let's see what you people are saying here. Just my brother, just sub. Thank you so much, Johnny. Hope you're doing well. We cannot tell our best signing of the summer right now. Their overall performance of the season, we will tell. Yeah, obviously. But if you look at the leading contenders in that position, Tomiyasu is among of them. Is among. Actually, at the moment in pecking order, you would go for you would go for Tomiyasu, followed by Ramsdale, followed by Odegaard, followed by Lokonga, and then followed by Ben White, and then followed by Nuno Tavares. Because I think each player has provided something different, and you can see that all of them are playing in the Arsenal side, and they're blending in, and they're doing things differently from the bunch of crap that we had. I don't know if Sid Kolasinac is still is still with the side, but without I don't think he has an opportunity to play football, right? So I think you cannot really decide on who's our player of the season, but why not? Tomiyasu is a promising, is a promising player. He needs only time. Yeah, he's good. He's good. No offenses. Tommy has been splendid. He has sealed that right back completely. No pressure at all from that end. He deserves the award. Thank you so much, Mohammed. How are you all? Worldwide Gunners, hope you're doing well too, bro. We are fine. Red Army just subbed. Smash the like, the likes, people. Make sure you smash a like on the video, people. Make sure you do smash a like on the video. It really means a lot. Tomiyasu is a perfect replacement for Hector Bellerin. Even better, I think. Even better. Forget Hector, he's done out here. I read Tom, he looks strong and focused, ready for the Premier League. Tomiyasu is a world-class player in that position. Now, my problem with Tom or Tommy or Tomiyasu, or like Troop says, Tommy Bloodclot brother, my problem there with him is his inability to come forward. Look, it's modern football, right? It's modern football, and I will understand everyone. Make sure you can, make sure you call in. By the way, link is in the comment section. If you want to call in and tell me what you think about, the discussions. But look, I want to say this. And I want to say it straight, right? I want to say it straight. Tomiyasu can improve his game by millions and millions and millions, because he's got the time, he's got the space, he's got the talent, he's got everything he needs to do that. Because for me, again, he needs to work on his final product. He needs to work on his product in the final third. He needs to do that to be a complete. Look at Cancelo. Just look at Cancelo. He's not a liability defensive wise, and he's not a liability coming forward. He's just complete. So if he can work on that, I've got no questions about him. I think he can make a very, very, very good. He can make a very, very good. Center. Fullback. He can make a very, very good fullback. I have no problem with that. If he can work on that, if he can work on the way he gets forward. Okay. What else do we have to look at in terms of Arsenal? Right. We'll have the live transfer show at 9:30 p.m. So make sure you tuned in for that. 9:30 p.m. we will have the live transfer show. It will be coming on, and that one will be airing on a daily basis. And of course, the evening Arsenal show shifts to 7 p.m. Right? I've seen a couple of stories here, but okay, let's end off with the Newcastle takeover, right? Let's end off with the Newcastle takeover. Okay, and this is from Football in London, and they're saying Newcastle takeover all but done. According to Sky Sports, Mike Ashley's shares in Newcastle have been transferred to the Saudi Arabian-backed consortium. Now, according to Chronicle Live reporter Lee Ryder, the Magpies are just waiting on confirmation from the Premier League before the takeover is officially complete. All right. And they're saying here that it's completely crazy. It's completely crazy. A Saudi Arabian consortium is buying Newcastle FC. Right? A Saudi Arabian consortium is buying Newcastle FC, and it's interesting for me. It's absolutely interesting. Signings are promising, but Arsenal attacking is too poor for now. how can it be improved? This according to Victor. His stats and touches in opposition half are awful. He does the basics very, very. Yeah, his basics are good, but he needs to be better than that. Thank you so much for for that, John. Well, we will fall far behind people, right? I'm gonna speak about two things. One is the Newcastle takeover, and someone as Victor says, how can we improve our attack? Look, the first thing everyone is gonna think about when you talk about improving Arsenal's attack is go to the market and get some good players there. Yeah, it could work. You could go back. Who are you gonna get in January? Who are you gonna get at this time? It could be something that really is not that easy. But for me, in my opinion, in my simple opinion, what Arsenal should do, right? What Arsenal should do and what Arsenal could do is let's play a more open game. Let us try. If Mikel can coach these players to play a more open and fearless game, I think it would work. I think it would absolutely work for us. I don't know how many people work, believe in my philosophy, but for me, I think we are still playing negative football, right? We are still playing negative football. It's more like we are still trying to fight off the opposition rather than attacking them. Because the likes of Smith, the likes of Odegaard, the likes of Saka, you have some threat there. You have some attacking threat. We just got to utilize these lads, right? We need to utilize those lads. But with the Newcastle takeover, Victor, I hope I answered your question. We can use the talent we have and then be more attacking. With the Newcastle takeover, it's a big threat to Arsenal. It's a big threat to Arsenal because at the moment we have slightly fallen behind Leicester City, right? We've slightly fallen behind Leicester City, and if you think about it, Arsenal behind Leicester City, that means you're behind the big five clubs. So that means that automatically makes us, it automatically creates a ceiling where we can only go as far as 6th, 7th. Right? 6th, 7th. If Newcastle invest, for example, 500 million. If they invest 500 million, because for me, to be better than Arsenal at the moment, it's not very hard. It's not really very hard. Get a good defense, get a good midfield, and get one or two good strikers. Look at many people still argue with me that the quality at Aston Villa is still way behind the quality at Arsenal, something I do not agree with it. I think Aston Villa's quality, if we compared man to man, Villa are either slightly at Arsenal's level or even a little bit slightly better than us. I don't know. I don't know. Because for me, if you look at their goalkeeper, Emi Martinez, if you do a combined 11 between Arsenal and Aston Villa, you go with Emi Martinez, obviously. In the back, in the back four, Target and Tierney, you could go with Tierney. Matikash and Tomiyasu, I'll go with Matikash. Tyrone Mings and Ben White, I'll go with Tyrone Mings, and then Gabriel Magalhaes. In the midfield, Joe McGinn, I'll go with Joe McGinn and Thomas Partey in the pivot. Then attacking, their attack, I think I'll go with Ramsey, Odegaard, and Saka. Right, that is 4-2-3, and the striker is between. It's either Oli Watkins or Aubameyang. At the moment, I would go with. You could either go with Oli Watkins or Danny Ings or Aubameyang. That depends. So we are really, what the Newcastle takeover means for Arsenal is we are now officially, we've got a new contender, right? We've got a new contender. We've got to invest money. Leave alone this, leave alone this 140 million that was spent over 6 players. You've got now to spend 100 million on 2 players. 100 million own one player. That is what it means. And look, Newcastle fans have waited for this opportunity for a very, very big, for a very long time, and finally here they have it. Here they have it. The douchebags have left, right? So we could say different Newcastle starting next season. We could say very, very different Newcastle. A Newcastle that wins matches, a Newcastle that is a threat. And what's going to happen there, right? What is really going to happen there? Make sure you do smash a like on the video, people. Make sure you do smash a like on the video. Thanks, everybody, for doing that. And I'm going to speak to you at 9:30 p.m. See you then. Smash a like on the video.